Have you been working to change violent or abusive behavior, but it feels like your partner doesn't recognize your progress? You've done good work, attending groups, going to counseling, and reading self-help books. You've discovered your buttons and worked to reduce or eliminate them. Some things that used to bother you no longer upset you, while other triggers now evoke a much smaller reaction. Still, your partner doesn't think you're any different than before. Hi, I'm Michael Clark with the Ananias Foundation, and in this video, we're going to talk about what to do if you've been working to stop abusive or violent behavior, but your partner is not willing or able to see it.
If you want to stop causing harm in your relationships, you're on the right path. This is Journey of Change, a video series to help you become the safe, loving partner you were meant to be.
It's quite common for those of us working to stop violent or abusive behavior to feel we've made great strides, yet our partner or ex-partner doubts that we've had progress. This distrust may come in many forms. Perhaps they're unwilling to give you another chance or even a second glance. It's frustrating because you're sure they would want to be with you if they just knew the new you. Maybe your partner is still in the picture, watching from a safe distance, but they say you haven't changed or haven't changed enough. Reconciliation depends on them seeing and believing your progress is real and permanent. However, your reunion keeps getting pushed out further and further into the future. Sometimes it might feel like your partner moves the goalpost. First, they wanted the violent acts to stop, and they have. Next, they pressed you to change behavior like yelling or name-calling, and you address that conduct. Now, you're being called out for having a tone in your voice or a particular look on your face. I understand how frustrating this might feel. Are you allowed to feel and express emotions, or do you have to become a passionless robot? Can you ever make a mistake or backslide into behavior you've largely cleaned up? Or is perfection the only thing that's allowed? Will they ever see your progress as satisfactory? At times, it may feel like you are being held to a higher standard than anyone else. It could be that your partner sounds like a hypocrite because they don't do what they're expecting you to do. If your partner does not seem to see your transition, here are 8 possible explanations and their solutions. As you consider these, I suggest that you consider them in order. First, it could be that you're overestimating your progress. I know this is one that you may not want to hear, but it's quite possible your perception of yourself is not accurate. To be fair, it's difficult for anyone to be objective about themselves. So, what can you do? Seek opinions from others, asking for their observations. Let them know that their honest and candid evaluation is valued and appreciated. Then, take what they say seriously and don't dismiss their criticisms too quickly. A second reason your partner is not validating your progress is they are still healing. It takes time for a person to heal from abuse. Any less than perfect behavior on your part, even if it isn't abusive, can remind them of past trauma and trigger some big reactions from them. If this is the case, what can you do? Well, keep working on catching yourself sooner. Interpret the knot in your stomach or your pounding heart as a warning sign that you need to take a time out before you react. In that way, You'll avoid triggering your partner. Also, show understanding and give your partner time to adjust to these anxiety-inducing triggers. Here's a third reason your partner may not appreciate your progress. It could be that they are trying to rebuild trust. Once damaged, trust takes a long time to restore, perhaps longer than it took you to change. Until that happens, your partner is likely to remain in self-protection mode, vigilantly testing to see if your change is permanent. What can you do if this is the case? Well, be an open book. Allow your partner to ask you questions and answer them honestly. Then, be patient with their caution and be as consistent as you can with your reactions. A warning here, a major slip-up will set back the trust you are building. A fourth possible reason why your partner seems to not recognize your progress is they have unrealistic expectations. They may seem hyper-focused on your less than perfect responses, even when you're in a challenging situation. This may be an act of self-protection. Similar to healing from trauma and rebuilding trust, they may subconsciously be attempting to build a shield around them so they don't get hurt again. What can you do if your partner has unrealistic expectations? First, check with a neutral third party, like a counselor, pastor, or a trusted advisor, that their expectations are truly unreasonable. If not, you may have more work to do. Even if their expectations are unreasonable, accept that your partner gets to determine what's tolerable for them and what's not. In the meantime, you can know that perfection is not attainable, but you can still strive to improve every day. You're either going to meet their standards or you won't, and there's nothing you can do about it or about their evaluation. But you can feel good about your progress. Fifth, it's possible that your partner has not forgiven you. Now, forgiveness is a tricky thing. You can apologize for the harm that you've done, but your partner gets to decide if they forgive you. Don't pressure them to forgive, or it will feel to them like you're attempting to control them. If your partner is withholding forgiveness, what can you do? Well, you absolutely should apologize. I recommend you review some guidelines for apologizing well, too. A big part of those guidelines is remembering that an apology without change will not restore the relationship. If you've done both, your partner may still not forgive you right away, so remain patient. If forgiveness does not come in a reasonable time frame, and by the way, you get to determine what's reasonable, accept it, and move on. Here's the sixth reason your partner might not be willing to reunite. It's because others are influencing them and encouraging them to dump you. Sadly, friends, family, counselors, or advocates sometimes pressure victims of domestic violence to end their relationship rather than letting that person decide for themselves. These outsiders likely believe they are protecting your partner, even if they are misinformed in general about people's ability to change, and they have no idea whether or not you have changed. Your partner may feel this peer pressure and question themselves for reconciling. Here's what you can do if this is the situation. You might offer to meet with those individuals. Share what you've done, what you've learned about yourself, and how this helps you with your emotional control and to respond differently to difficult situations in the future. I must caution you, however, it could be an uphill battle. People tend to hold on to their preconceived notions, and generally mistrust any of us who have been accused of abuse. Now, alternatively, you could just focus on being the best version of yourself and let your partner decide who they're going to believe. A seventh reason could be that your partner has mentally or emotionally checked out. Perhaps your partner sees and acknowledges how you've changed. However, they're still unwilling to move back into a relationship with you. To use a common adage here, it's not you, it's them. So what can you do if your partner is just not into you or your relationship anymore? You know, unrequited love hurts, but we can't force someone to like or love us, and pressuring them to do so is a terrible strategy. It's tough, but let go. Finally, an eighth reason your partner may not acknowledge your change is more of a sinister one. It could be that they are blaming you to protect themselves from taking responsibility for their own bad behavior. Your partner could know that their behavior is pretty awful. However, as long as they make you the problem, they won't need to address their actions. They may be hoping if you change enough, they won't be triggered into acting so badly. I want to point out this is a classic case of blame. What can you do about it if this is the reason? First, talk to your partner about their behavior and how it affects you. Ask them to change. Then, set a boundary, letting them know what you'll do if their offensive actions continue. Generally, your response to their boundary violation should involve distancing yourself from them. You distance with yourself or with your time or space, but create some separation there. If your partner responds well and addresses what they're doing, great. If not, you'll have to decide if you can tolerate their bad behavior. If you choose not to, your only choice is to end the relationship. What you can't do is pressure them to change. Let me leave you with this final thought. Even if your partner does not recognize the changes in your behavior, it doesn't mean you're not doing good work or making great strides. It simply means that they don't, or can't, or won't admit it. Let your actions speak for themselves. You get to be the ultimate judge of you. Don't hand the power to define you to anyone else. I'm Michael Clark with the Ananias Foundation, and I hope you found this discussion about what to do if your partner does not recognize your changes to be helpful. Take care, and I'll see you in another video.
Thanks for joining me today. I'm honored to be on this journey of change with you, and I hope I've helped you in some way. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you. Also, be sure to hit the like button, share this with others who might find it helpful, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. For more resources, head to our website, ananiasfoundation.org. Until next time, take care and remember, change is possible.